But was Donald Trump also raping children? Was his Miss Teen USA pageant that he owned back then when he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein part of Epstein's network? Was he feeding teenage girls to predators? I mean, remember the Newsweek headline? This is an actual Newsweek headline. There's a hot link to it in my article today. Quote, Epstein victim was contestant in Donald Trump's teen beauty pageant. Amy Wallace is the biographer or the co-author, basically, kind of not quite a ghostwriter, who worked with Virginia Giuffre on her book, Nobody's Girl, I think is the title of it. And what comes to mind, and I mentioned this in my op-ed, this is my daily take today over at HartmannReport.com. It's titled, Trump's Elite Pedophile Protection Program, Who Are They Protecting? It brings to mind Emmett Till's mother, just basically pulling back the veil, saying this is what racism looks like. This is what hate looks like. And now you've got Virginia Giuffre and Amy Wallace saying, this is what, a sex trafficking ring of wealthy men looks like. And Amy Wallace, in an interview, specifically said that she knows the names of the men who were raping these little girls, and that the FBI, and presumably Kash Patel, its director, and the Department of Justice, and presumably its director, Pam Bondi, know those names too. Now, Pam Bondi spent 8 years as the Attorney General of Florida during the time that Jeffrey Epstein was living down there, raping young girls and running a sex ring. And she did prosecute sex crimes against children, but she never even looked, to the best of anybody's knowledge, at Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, inquiring minds want to know, what's up with that? But here we have this one, and Amy Wallace, when she, in this interview where she said, yes, I know, she said, quote, yes, I know who the names are. Virginia knows who the names are. So does the FBI and the DOJ, end of quote. And then she went on to say, by the way, the information is not in my house, so don't try to break in to get it, which I thought was fascinating. And yet these files remain sealed. The Republicans, we have ongoing investigations, or there's a legal process. And it all appears designed to protect one man, Donald Trump. Although I'm guessing that, there's more than just Trump that's being protected, obviously. But was Donald Trump also raping children? Was his Miss Teen USA pageant that he owned back then when he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein part of Epstein's network? Was he feeding teenage girls to predators? I mean, remember the Newsweek headline? This is an actual Newsweek headline. There's a hot link to it in my article today. Quote, Epstein victim was contestant in Donald Trump's teen beauty pageant. So why is Mike Johnson refusing to swear Adelita Grijalva into office? Is it just because of this? And how long can he pull this thing off? I mean, most recently we've been treated to these just naked lies by Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi came out, oh yes, the Epstein files are sitting on my desk waiting for me to, and I mean, it is literally, she said, sitting on my desk. And now she and Kash Patel, there's nothing to see. No, there's nothing there. And please don't tell Donald that I ever said there was. You've got basically every institution that is controlled by Republicans right now participating in this cover-up. The FBI is participating in the cover-up. The Department of Justice is participating in the cover-up. The Republicans in the House of Representatives are participating in the cover-up. The Republicans in the Senate are participating in the cover-up. The Supreme Court has refused to take any of these cases as they float up there. The Republicans on the Supreme Court. And the White House, of course, is participating in the cover-up. I mean, we've seen this kind of thing before, right? The Catholic Church and the pedophile priests. We've also seen it in realms that have nothing to do with sex. The asbestos industry had known since 1934 that their product produced mesothelioma, but they concealed it. And it killed my father. who worked in a steel mill. When, you know, he was going to college, he wanted to be a history professor, and when I was born, or when Mom got pregnant with me, he dropped out of college and got a job in a steel mill because, you know, hey, I got a family coming here. And the steel came off, the hot steel came out of the blast furnaces or whatever it was and ran over these rollers that were coated with asbestos. My dad worked in a cloud of asbestos, and it killed him. My brother Stan smoked all his life, the tobacco industry, and died from it. The tobacco, you know, died from COPD. The tobacco industry spent millions, these executives, covering up what they knew about the associations between smoking and COPD and lung cancer and things like that. And a whole bunch of cancers, actually. I mean, we've seen this before with no accountability. None of these executives ever went to prison. Nobody from the tobacco industry ever went to prison. Nobody from the asbestos industry ever went to prison. The Sackler family, you know, they made billions hustling OxyContin. Nobody from that family ever went to prison. They're billionaires. They're untouchable. They don't even live among us. They travel on private jets and live in, you know, mansions with security. This is what wealth can do. The formula never changes. When uncomfortable truths threaten rich and powerful people, you know, they figure out how to insulate themselves. So, you know, the FBI, the Justice Department, the Republicans in Congress, every public servant with knowledge of this needs to be speaking out. They need to participate. They need to figure out, you know, we need to get to the bottom of this. It's not about revenge. It's about the cleansing of the moral fabric of our country. And it's time to do something about it. Emmett Till's mother showed us what courage looks like. Now that same courage is needed again, in my opinion. Till the truth comes out, till justice is real, this stain is going to stay on all of us. We'll be right back. On the other side of the break, is America ready for AOC? This is, I think so. I'm ready. What about you? We'll be right back.